What is going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victim Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsy Jr. YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to come on in, hit that thumbs up button as you come on into the room because we have a special guest today, defensive back commit signee for the Grambling State Tigers, Mr. Quintin Talley. Quintin, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. And I know all the Graham fam is excited about you being there on campus. You look like you made it to campus. Just
Yes,
what
sir.
has it been like since you've been committed to Graham?
Since I've committed, it's been a family-oriented program. Like as soon as I posted my commitment on Twitter, I had fan bases from all sorts of people just accepting me and bringing me into the Grambling fam, and it's really been a great experience to have.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And before we get more into Grambling, I want to take it back a little bit and talk about your journey playing ball. Just who was the first person to introduce you to football? When did you get into it? Who was that person that kind of put a football in your hands for the first time?
So growing up, I had an older brother. I always watched him play, especially in high school. That's really, I kind of got at football really early. I was 5 years old when I first played tackle football. And that's when I knew, like, then that's when I loved football and that's what I wanted to do. And that was my passion. So I watched my brother growing up through high school, and he kind of helped me just find myself and find what I liked in football. And he also played defensive back, so I kind of followed in his footsteps a little bit. He went to Carson Newman, played football there. And so I've always had that role model to show me the way. And he helped me a lot in the process. Going out of high school, I had like 16 offers to play football. I ended up going to Western Carolina and playing there for 2 years. It was a little rough. It was a little rough experience at first. I came in as a freshman, started the first 3 games. We played Liberty, North Carolina, and EKU. And I had a very good experience doing that, first time playing college football. And I actually led my defense in tackles those 3 games. And so that was the process. And then the whole coaching staff that was there the following year got fired. And so they brought So they brought in a whole new staff, and this was coming into fall of 2021. No, fall of 2020, because we had COVID year and then that spring. And so we played that spring. They brought them in that summer, and then that fall had a new coaching staff. Came in with a new mentality. They set it up to where they came in, they wanted to win now. It was a good experience for me because I got to learn myself. As far as like taking care of what you need in school, I kind of fell a little short, but it helped me learn in this process, and I'm glad that I got to experience that. Going out of there, I entered the portal in that spring of 2022 season, and I entered the portal. I got a lot of schools to hit me up, but as far as like eligibility and things like that with hours, I wasn't able to go immediately. So that's when I made the decision to go JUCO. And so I went JUCO and I played there. I went to Holmes Community College in Mississippi. It was a little out the way, coming from South Carolina, so it was it was an 8-hour drive. So it was kind of different for me, but it was an experience that I knew I needed to take to get my mind back right and focus. And also, it was going to set me up for the path that I am in now. And so you can go ahead.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And now at Holmes, did you play with Philip Short?
Yes, I did actually. He was my quarterback.
What was that like, man? Philip's going over to Jackson State. You're going to Grambling. What was that like playing with Philip?
So playing with Philip was actually great. He's a great player. He's a dog. You can see it in everything he does. Like, he takes football very seriously. He actually, me and him go at it. We, especially during practice, like we were going at it. He would tell me he gonna test me, and I'm like, you don't want to do that now. You're gonna mess up your quarterback rating. And so it was great to see that he's gonna be at at Jackson State, and so I'm looking forward to playing them and getting to play against him. So
Absolutely, man. That'll be
yes,
awesome.
sir.
And now, he'll really be testing you, and you can make him pay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You can really, and you can hit him this time. I know at home you probably couldn't hit him. You know what I'm saying? He was a quarterback, so you know
yes,
what I mean?
sir.
Like, that's awesome. Once again, we're talking to Quintin Talley, Grambling State signee at the defensive back position. Now, Quintin, you talked about being at Holmes, JUCO, the community college. I'm glad you laid that so eloquently about your journey through football, man. There's a lot going on from Western Carolina to JUCO and now to Grambling. When it came to your recruiting process, you said in high school you had 16 offers and you ended up at Western Carolina. But what was the recruiting process like for you coming out of Holmes? What was that like for you?
It was eye opening because JUCO's a grind. It really is a grind, and it's I say it was eye opening because you got what you worked for, basically.
Yeah.
If you went in every day, you did your things in class, you went to practice, you weightlift, you do everything the right way, then the recruiting was kind of easy. It was a little different just because I was a bounce back. So I had coaches that knew that I was going to JUCO, so they were kind of hitting me up during the process of me being at the school. But it also allowed me to open up to a lot more schools that I never heard of, and also like the fan base. So it was a good process.
Absolutely, man. And so with that process, when did Grambling get involved? Who's the first coach to kind of hit you up? And what was that, talking to them, those visits and different things like?
So actually I had Coach Lee, my position coach, and my defense coordinator, Coach Thornton. Um, they both actually came up to Holmes, and we sat for like 2 hours and talked.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it was actually like a good conversation, and just being able to talk to him, it was like sitting there and talking to one of my friends. It wasn't too much business. They really wanted to know more about what I was about and my family, and they wanted just to get to know me. And that was a big key to the recruiting process, and one of the reasons why I did come here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So you have that 2 hour talk. You took a visit to Grambling before actually officially getting there. What was that visit like for
Uh, it was actually fun. Um, it was fun getting to look at the campus because there's a deception about HBCUs, and it's sad to say that is the case. But a lot of people downgrade HBCUs, and so when I finally got to be on campus, I got to see the buildings, the facilities, I got to see the people, and it was really like Grambling is a great school, and HBCUs are actually a good spot to be if that's what you want to do. And just being on campus and being able to surround myself with the coaches and the staff, and then some of the recruits that actually came with me had signed, and just being with them, we were able to just see more in the bigger picture of what Grambling could bring to us.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Once again, we're talking to Quintin Talley, Grambling State signee, commitment signee. He's on campus actually right now. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button and Grand Fam show Quintin a lot of love. Now, Quintin, I want to ask you, talk about the perception that is made of HBCUs. Coming from South Carolina, did you know a lot about HBCUs, or what were some of the things that you had heard?
So coming from South Carolina, you got South Carolina Central, you got North Carolina, and you got a few HBCUs around. And at one point, those were kind of like they didn't have the what's the word? They didn't have the remodeled buildings, and some things were run down. And a lot of people would be like, "Yeah, I went there, but I had to do this, that, and the third. I had to pay this," and it was a lot more that most people didn't think they would have to do. And HBCUs aren't really that big in South Carolina. They are, but you got Clemson, you got South Carolina, you got other schools surrounding it, so it kind of takes away from that HBCU lifestyle. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And so, what are you outside of football? What are
Mhm.
you most looking forward to about being in an HBCU, and not just an HBCU, about being a Grambling?
Well, that was the one thing that I actually took into account when I committed here. I took football out of account. Um,
Mhm.
I wanted to be able to come to a school where I felt like I was comfortable to be around because I'm 10 hours from the crib. So
Man,
that was a big,
10?
yeah, yeah.
Woo!
So,
Man,
so
that's a long
I,
way.
I had to find a spot that I knew, like, regardless of what happened with football, I was going to be happy and I was going to be able to be comfortable. And that was a big thing for me. And with the family atmosphere that Grambling gives, it's just, you can fit. You know you're part of a family. You're not an outcast. And that's one thing that I loved about Grambling.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, Quintin, talk to me
Mm-hmm.
about your coach, Coach Hue Jackson, man. When was the first time you talked to Coach Hue Jackson, and what have those conversations been like since you've committed and been on campus now at Grambling?
Okay, so Coach Jackson, we first contacted me after I had got the offer. He called me and was basically just telling me the ball player that I was and what he's seen into my future, kind of, sort of. And the thing about me that kind of sold with Hugh Jackson, not only with him being the head coach in the league and having those connections, it was that he really cares about his players and Grambling. Like, he put that instilled in my head that he cares, and it's not just football that he cares about. It's the students, and like he's able, like, he's talked to my parents. My parents love him because he's open to them, and he's open to them, and he also holds a very high standard for everybody. And with him doing that, it makes you appreciate him a lot more because he's not just holding one person accountable to this person, they're different accountability. No, he's holding everybody to that same standard. And my parents were able to see that just sitting there and talking to him. And having the knowledge that he has with the league was a big thing um, because he knows what it looks like to be an NFL guy. And he's
Mhm.
set in front of veterans, so he knows what it takes and what you have to do to get there. And that is still one of my inspirations, is to be in the league. And with him being the person that he is and the connections that he has, it will help me in my process of trying to make that happen.
Absolutely, man. That's beautiful, man. Once again, we're talking to Quintin Talley, Grambling State signee. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Now, Quintin, let's talk football, man.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe your game? You know what I mean? Like, what's your first of all, what's your measurables, height and weight, and how would you describe your game? Do you compare it to anyone in the league or in college football? But how would you describe it?
So I'm 6'1", 188. Um, I am a switchblade, if that makes sense. I come with a lot. I can hit, I can cover. I also can run down the alley. I played safety when I was at Western. I played nickel while I was at Western as well. And then I also played corner when I went to home. So I'm very versatile, and my knowledge of the game is very high. Also, I would say that not only am I a student of the game, I take this game very seriously. Film room,
Mm.
field, weight room, because I know, like, I want to be in the league and I know what it takes to be in the league. I have friends that have made it to the league that tell me, like, bro, you can go do it. You just got to lock in. And with me coming to Grambling, I had 2 years left, and I know that when I got here, it was time. Like, it wasn't no time to wait. It's time to get right now. And that's what I'm really looking forward to doing.
Man, I love the way you speak, man. It's like music to my ears. I love the way it sounds. I love the way you come. It's like, hey, man, I'm not here to play no games. I'm here to make things
Yeah.
happen. And let's talk about that though. Like Grambling
Mhm.
had some success last year under Coach Hue Jackson's first year. They played a lot of young dudes. A lot of
Mhm.
guys got a lot of valuable experience. But what are your expectations, not just for yourself, but for Grambling this spring? Let's just keep it to this spring, and we'll talk about the fall later.
So coming in this spring, I know they were a young team, um, but that was a good thing because I've been a part of a young team when I was at Western. Um, so I know what it takes. It's a lot of focus and discipline that's going to take. Um, and I feel like this spring is going to be what sets us from all the other schools in the SWAC, just because we know, one, we were young last year, so we got a lot of proof to come in, and two, we know we got to be stronger, faster, and all those elements. But we also know that we want to bring Grambling back to where they were, and that was champions. And we know what it takes, and we're looking forward to it. We got the guys. We had a meeting yesterday. We're all excited for what we have to bring to that SWAC again, and we're looking forward to the spring. Really are.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, Quintin, you talked about, the success that Grambling's had in the past. How much of that history of Grambling do you know, and how much, and what does that mean to you, knowing that you're walking the same halls and going to put on the same jerseys that some of the legends, not just the college football, but Pro Football Hall of Famers actually did, knowing that you can do the same thing right there from Grambling?
hmm So with that, Grambling's always been a top dog in the SWAC HBCU. Um, And I've always known a little bit of Grambling. I'm not gonna sit here and say I knew a lot. I
Yeah,
knew
that's
about
fine.
that.
That's fair.
I knew about Eddie Robinson and the history behind that. And for me, it was big because me being a black man, being able to step in those same feet that were founded by people that had to fight for what they needed. You know, and so for me, it's a blessing, and I'm glad that I get to be a part of the Grambling community, and I get to be a part of this history. And we're gonna make history here, so I get to be part of it. For real.
Oh man, that is awesome, man. That is awesome. Once again, we're talking to Quintin Talley, Grambling State DB signee. So, Quintin, outside of football, man, what are some of your hobbies? What are some of the things you like to do?
I love being on the game. Madden's my go.
are you PS5 or Xbox?
I'm an Xbox guy, but
Oh, you're like one of the few.
yeah. So I'm actually an Xbox guy. I kind of transitioned from PlayStation. I
Okay.
had actually this is the first time I've never had a PlayStation. I've always had both growing up.
Yeah.
So, but I love playing the game. I like social. I like being social with people. I go out, just talk to random people, getting to know people. Um, and I also like drawing, believe it or not.
You're an
For me,
artist. Okay.
yeah, for me, it's
Yeah.
very peaceful. I like drawing. And then sometimes during my free time, I like working out. Like I just like it's just something that clears my mind, and I can go and just enjoy myself. And I always see the results, and that's why I enjoy doing it. So that's what I like doing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, Quintin, since you've committed and signed and everything with Grambling, what's the reaction from well, first of all, when you committed to Grambling, told you, what was your family's reaction? Tell them that you're gonna go play for Coach Hue Jackson in that Grambling State.
Um, for them, it was a kind of a surprise, but at the same time, they knew. The
Okay.
reason why I would say it was kind of a surprise is just because I've always been around PWIs and things like that,
Hmm.
and it wasn't a surprise to them because they knew like I wanted to be a part of something like history wise, and they knew that I wanted to one reconnect with my black friends and black family and really just get to pour back into the HBCU and what they built because uh, Dion put it on a pedestal, and I listened. And HBCUs need more athletes to listen and to come and bring back what we had. And but yeah, that was a big thing for sure.
Absolutely, man, and that's
Hmm
cool to hear you say because you talk about what Deion Sanders was able to do at Jackson State, and
hmm
now seeing Coach Eddie Robinson at Tennessee State. You see your Coach Hue Jackson. We've seen Ed Reed take the job of Bethune
And
Cookman.
yep,
It looks like a lot of people are doing what they're supposed to do from media outlets like myself and others. They're doing what
sure.
they're supposed to do to help bring this thing. And it's awesome, man. It's awesome to hear you say like, "Yo, those words from Coach Jackson, from Deion Sanders, and kind of
hmm
inspired me and made me want to be a part of it." So that's awesome, man. I really like to hear that. Just as far as your expectations for
hmm
yourself. You said you got 2 years of eligibility. Your expectations for yourself while you're there at Grambling. What are those?
So my expectations, one, is to graduate. In
Mm,
these next 2 years, I want to graduate. That's my big plan. Also, I want to be an All American. That's I know that that's one of my things. I want to be an All-American for the SWAC. I want to be that guy that when people talk about SWAC, they mention my name. And I know with that being said, there's a lot that has to go in to that being a thing that can happen. And I'm prepared for that. I know that I'm going to have to become a leader on the team just because we're young. And I've been able to experience a losing program, a winning program, and also a rebuilding program. And so I know that I'm going to have to come in and be kind of a vocal leader and just not only show the right way, but just lead by example, just showing them like, this is how you prepare for practice. This is how you prepare for a game. When you go to weights, this is how you prepare for weight. And just with me showing that will make a huge impact in this team because they, like you said, they had a little bit of success last year and they were young. And with those same dogs coming back, they know, okay, we were young, but now they know about us, and we're going to come back with a little more fight and dog in them, and that's what I look forward to. And I know, as me being the athlete I am, I love football, and I'm going to put it all on the line. So regardless of what happens, I know, like, at the end of the day, I put everything that I could into it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, Quintin has just got a few more questions. Just as far
Mm-hmm.
as Coach Jackson and the rest of the coaching staff at Grambling, what was kind of like, I hate to say it like this, but they're like selling point. Like, what was it that they were trying to tell you about Grambling, about themselves, the coaching staff, that
Mm-hmm.
that was like, hey, this is why we think you fit with us. What was kind of that to them to you?
To be honest, I've always wanted to be a part of history. Uh, so that one piece is like important to me. It's making a stand for where you at, and they help me understand that this is a spot where not only can you make history and bring back history, but you can set your life up for anything that you look forward to. Just because, like, the coaches are behind you, the fan bases are behind you, just everybody's behind Grambling. And when you're a G man, you gotta uh, you just got a higher weight to you, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was one thing that talking to them, they opened my eyes to. And then also they told me, like, when you come here, we're gonna use you, we're gonna need you, but you're gonna have to put in the work. But
Yeah.
he said, like, we got the pieces that we need to do what we need to coming in. Like, he knew, like, I know it's a different kind of thing to come in, and like he did, he came in. It was a rough first year, which was expected for most coaches to come in. But
Mhm.
he knows that. He told me, he was like, yeah, that was all noise for last year. This year is the year that people go, oh, Coach Jackson, oh, Grambling, is because it was like,
Yeah.
because to him, he was going to get the best coaches that were going to put you in the right positions. And that was another thing. Like, the coaches are very, very smart here. Just sit there and talk to them. You can talk to them about football, life, anything, and you can tell that they're very knowledgeable about the game, and they've been able to experience a lot of things, and they can communicate that with you. And that's a big
Yeah.
thing with coaches now. They're transitioning to a little younger style coach,
Mhm.
and to me it's big because they know how to connect to their players a little more.
Mhm.
So I was able to connect with Coach Lee a little bit more, not only on the football aspect, but just because it wasn't long ago that he was playing. So he knows
Mhm.
what the struggle was for athletes coming. And that was a big thing. I love the coaches. They were ready to work. They got that ignite that you can see that next year is going to be the year that Grambling shows somebody.
Absolutely, man.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Once again, we're talking to Quintin Talley, Grambling State football signee. Now, Quintin, I wish you all the success at Grambling. I hope you go on have
Yes,
win
sir.
championships, do everything, and then go on and have a long, illustrious career in the pros. But we know football eventually ends. So, what
Mm-hmm.
is something that what first of all, what are you going to be majoring in at Grambling, and what is something that you want to do once football is over with, whenever that may be?
So I'm a communications major.
Okay.
With that being said, I have my dad has a company that he runs right now, ENT Technologies, and he does security cameras. And I've been working with him since I was 10. So
Wow.
as far as like being a technician and knowing like things like that, I'm very knowledgeable. But I wanted to take it a step further from just working with him. I want to be able to expand his business and things like that. And I know with the communications major, it will help me with connections and things like that. And also, I know eventually I'm going to want to feed back into what gave me where I am now, and that's football. I want to be able to go back and coach because I know if I had the knowledge that I have now, and somebody were to tell me as a coach, like, you got to go do this and you got to do this. And yeah, you're going to want to do this, but you need to do this. And if I would have had that knowledge, I feel like I'd have been 10 times better than where I am. And I feel like I'm in a great spot, and I've been able to experience a lot to where when I do have the chance to one day feed back to kids, I'll be able to let them know and guide them to where they can be successful.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, Quintin, we'll
Mm-hmm.
get out of here, man. But I just want to say, hey, congratulations on signing. Best of luck to
Yes,
you this
sir.
season. But for the folks, for the Grand Fam or the potential NIL partners, where can they find you on social media? How can they get in contact with you? Where can they find you so they can go ahead and blow up your notifications and show you a whole lot of love?
Okay, so my IG is at Taliban. That's Talley, capital BANNN. That's three N's. My Twitter is Tally_Quintin. I'm all on social media. I try to reach out to like if you comment, I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna like. I try to be interactive with them, and I look forward to what comes to me from Grambling and from this interview. So.
Absolutely,
Yes,
man. The
sir.
Grand Fam is going to show you a whole lot of love, man. They love their football down there in Grambling.
Oh
I can tell
yeah.
you that. And they're used to winning. So they
Uh-huh.
want some winning football players. You sound like a winning player to me, man. Quintin, best of luck to you, buddy. Congratulations on signing. Good luck to you. Stay healthy this spring. And I can't wait
Yes,
to see you
sir.
ball out this fall, man. Congratulations again.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's no problem. Once again, this is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, show Quintin some love, and thank you guys so much for